Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up on this video. So let's get to the point of this video. I'm doing this video on Adam Levine and what's trending right now as far as the whole social justice warrior thing with the alphabet people, which is the NAACP blacks and the ADL Jews. That's the real alphabet people, guys. All right. The original alphabet people. So apparently Adam Levine has dreadlocks. The guy's a Jew musician. He's got dreadlocks. He calls it a dreadhawk, or whatever he calls it. And apparently a lot of black people are saying that he is misappropriating black culture. And here's the thing about it. This whole misappropriating, this whole thing where black people are sensitive to any other race, doing, wearing, or putting out any kind of image where their perceived culture is being, well, not mocked, but used. I don't know if it's used. I mean, that's just his hairstyle. All right. But again, you have this whole social justice warrior thing. And the NAACP and the ADL are the original social justice warriors. So my thoughts on this is, this occurs pretty often with blacks and with Jews, as far as, putting out this, oh, that's racist, that's anti-Semitic, that's racist, that's anti-Semitic. Like last week was that girl with the nappy-headed hair that modeled for H&M, right? There was a whole thing about that. But my opinion on this really isn't about this whole, Adam Levine's false hawk, all right? It's like, I don't, you got like two groups that have race cards that pretty much are not, consider themselves not accountable for racism towards other groups. I mean, they do, like, they're in the entertainment business. They do racial shit. They do racial jokes. They bash other races. But when you do it to them, not even when you do it to them, when you depict them at all, if it's any way slightly negative, these people will go ape shit on every single thing. Yet you have these people going around, hating on other groups, LGBTs, women's rights groups, Latino Americans, Asian Americans, Muslims. You got them hating on them for pointing out the negatives of the media when it comes to their portrayal. Like that guy, the Amazing Lucas, those dudes, the Hodge twins, that lady, that black lady who's a conservative, and like nut jobs. I call them nut jobs because there's a growing amount of these people these days. A grown amount of these people. When I say these people, I mean blacks and Jews, going around saying, well, PC culture is just wrong. PC culture is threatening a livelihood of their entertainers, comedians especially. You had Sarah Silverman, a Jew, going around saying, they did an interview with her with PC culture, and she's going, well, this is just awful, it's wrong, it's not right, it's messing up, it's negative towards her occupation, etc., etc. But yet, when somebody does something slightly funny and could be construed as negative or even neutral, they go ape shit over that shit. I'm talking about the blacks and the Jews. They go ape shit over that shit. I mean, they're hypocrites is what I'm saying. Absolute hypocrites. As far as the whites are concerned, the non-Jew whites, conservatives, who go and bash other groups for being social justice warriors, and all they're doing is pretty much the same thing as blacks and Jews are doing. I mean, are they going to hop on this? Are they going to hop on this and go, you know what, you're just being a bunch of snowflakes, you're just being a bunch of social justice warriors, you're just being a bunch of retards, you're oversensitive, this is, it's just a haircut, etc. Or are they going to just, not talk about it because them talking about it makes them racist? So they'll, put boundaries with that. But when it comes to other groups, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. They'll make 10 million excuses as to why they won't go after them. But they'll make 10 million excuses as to why they'll go after this group. It's just the hypocrisy that I can't stand. And this video is not as much as about, this dude's shit with his dreadlocks. It's just the ridiculous amount of hypocrisy, selective racist, selective bias, selective prejudicial stuff that I see from certain groups that have an agenda to push, and then they're pushing against these other groups' agenda. Don't do that. Just don't do that, okay? Either you're respectful of every other people's agenda, or you don't get to have an agenda. It doesn't work where it's okay for you to be a hypocrite about other people's shit, and then when it comes to you want people to be PC about your shit. It doesn't work that way. It should not work that way. But unfortunately, people aren't speaking out about this. All right, it's been 20 years of this bullshit where certain groups, blacks and Jews, have gotten a lot of shit, a lot of positive shit, just by bitching about how other groups treat them, how they don't want other groups to treat them, like how they want to be treated a certain way, depicted a certain way, etc., etc. It filters down to the social arena. It filters down to the population. You're conditioning them to treat you a certain way, giving you special consideration for on a social level. You know how this works. They know how this works. All right? They know how this works, because if you've been around for the last 20 years, you know that certain groups have gained a certain amount of social status, cultural status, as a result of how the media depicts them, versus other groups where they've been bashed to death. It shouldn't exist in that way. So as far as the Adam Levine situation with his dreadlock mohawk is concerned, look, I don't give a fuck about Adam Levine or his shit, but I find it funny that you got two of the original alphabet people, the NAACP blacks and the ADL Jews, constantly saying, oh, you know what, these alphabet people, they're doing this shit and that shit, and this group just being overly sensitive. It's just a joke. I support Dave Chappelle. I support the child molester Michael Jackson, etc., etc. Look, people, just stop with your bullshit. Just stop with your bullshit, all right? It's not needed. People are seeing, reading between the lines. They're seeing what you're doing. Just stop, okay? Either everybody gets a piece of the pie or nobody gets a piece of the pie. And if you're going to bitch about other people wanting respect, wanting to be depicted with respect, wanting to be depicted with dignity. You know, don't go bashing them for wanting what they want, and then when you get bashed, you're calling racist and anti-Semitic. You're kind of calling them anti-Semitic and racist, etc., etc. It's just a load of bullshit hypocrisy that I've been seeing over the last 20 years in the media that A, should not exist. I mean, I know the media has been racialized over the last 20 years. That should not exist either. And like any other industry, this industry should be regulated by the government, because basically you're not just putting up entertainment material. All right. The problem with this industry is it has a tremendous effect on how people see each other. It has a tremendous effect. What you're putting out, the material that you're putting out, the jokes, the movies, the storylines, the skits, it has a tremendous effect on the social dignity of people, of groups. All right, that's why people go apeshit over the media, okay? It's not just a product of entertainment. It's a product of social conditioning. It's a product of social conditioning. Okay, and I can't make that anymore. I can't stress that anymore to all you guys who are defending, people like Dave Chappelle, people like Shane Gillis, people like Bill Burr, who are just absolute hypocrites as far as how they do their material on one group versus how they do the material on another group. All right, one is racial in a nature that's lighthearted and positive, stereotypical, and neutral stereotypes, while the other is done with absolute heinous, racist, negative stereotypes, and they don't weigh the same. And it's been done for the last 20 years, and they've gone away with it for the last 20 years. All right, this is okay. This would be considered, that would be considered a form of either racial promotion or racial terrorism, or cultural terrorism. And that term should exist as far as cultural terrorism is concerned, because you can bash the hell out of another race by using the media to depict them as badly as possible, and then diminish their social stature as much as any kind of company can badmouth the shit out of a certain other competitor product by putting out just absolutely negative ads and information about them. It's the same way, like if I could correlate it with something that's recent, like the presidential politics, like the person with the most money, who's able to put the most amount of ads out, gets the most amount of views. He's able to put amount of, out as much positive spin as he can on himself, versus if he had the money to put as many negative spin as his competitor, the next candidate, it would make a huge difference in whether he wins the election or not. This is the arena that we're in as far as social politics, racial politics, is concerned. This is the arena that we're in. This is what I'm talking about here, okay? And that's why I call it a cultural race war, a social race war, because the effects of it is the same. All right, you're not noticing it because for the last 20 years, it's been a slow social progression of certain races getting more than others, getting more social consideration than others, climbing that ladder easier. And some of these groups are getting escalator rides to the top, while other people are absolutely, putting in their steps and exercising quite a bit, trying to get up. And a lot of times you guys pelt shit down on them, hoping they get knocked out and fall back down. That's a no. That's a no go anymore. You guys can't do that anymore. Okay, that's not the world we live in 2019, and it's gonna even out for everybody at this point. And fuck you guys if you don't like it. Fuck you guys. All right, every single one of you who wants this to be a white black world, a white black country. This ain't a white black country, never was. All right, there's been people here for 15,000 years. There's been a whole bunch of other Americans who give their lives, serve, give their lives, etc., etc., pay taxes, do their thing. There's more Americans than you guys in the industry. All right, and every single one of these groups, every single one of these people, they're gonna get their turn up on the top, you know. So fuck you people for doing what you have done for the last 20 years as far as bashing the shit out of certain groups and then, you know, giving yourselves the best presentation that you can get. So as I'm wrapping this up, as far as the whole Adam Levine thing, this whole video is like, I don't give a fuck about Adam Levine or his shit. This is about people who have race cards who have race cards that make them not care about being accountable for what they do, whether there's Jews or blacks. This is as much as about them as much about the retard conservative whites who, you know, go out of the way to bash other groups while going out of the way to treat other groups, Jews and blacks, with as much care as possible, putting lines there where they don't cross and stuff like that. No, just no. But you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, so don't lie to yourselves on that. I get a lot of responses from you guys telling me everything aside from making that argument that I'm wrong. You guys don't even want to do that at all. Like, you guys talk about the caps, talk about, you know, the caps locks, all that shit. You guys tell me I'm wrong, but you guys don't want to go into why I'm wrong. Ain't gonna do none of that shit because you know I'm right. All right. If anything else, I go out of my way to be as neutral and as truthful as I can be, right down the middle. I don't do racial politics. I don't do, you know, politics where I'm prejudicial towards one group or another. All right. If I'm seeing it one way, I'm seeing it one way, and that's down the middle. And it's the truth, and you guys know it.